Kraken, everybody, and welcome to episode 116 of the Good Kraken podcast. I am your voluptuous host, one Garrick Eakin, aka Vermilion Beard, and I am joined this evening by one Ernell Pearson, aka Ocean Shark.
Let's fucking go, baby. Anyways, yes. Saint, thank you. Yeah, would you all have kept talking for hours on mute? Honestly, it would have taken me a little bit to catch it if you didn't mention anything, Saint. So you are a godsend. You are a gift to us. Anyway, what I was saying is that I'm going raw water now instead of Mio water, which is my usual go-to. Like I usually get the like strawberry Mio, and I just a little bit in that water bottle of mine, and then I'm sipping on that for the rest of the evening. But I'm currently I'm just days away from completely cutting cigarettes, my vape, anything that has to do with my oral fixation. I'm cutting it out of my life because I've been working my way towards quitting smoking officially, right? And I some time ago started taking up Nicorette. Surreal says hydrate. Oh shit.
Damn, I've already been like drinking because I got that cough.
Surreal, hi, we love you, we missed you, welcome back, we miss you, thank God your internet's fixed. Take a water and so there you go, Surreal, yes, exactly. So I've been doing Nicorette for some time now to kind of like work my way into it, and now I'm at a point where I'm almost through my first box, and then let's get through my first box, it's no more cigarettes or anything at all. So I'm just gonna be knocking the oral fixation out. It's done. Like the only thing I'll have is my gum to rely on for the rest of the day. And so with that said, I may or may not be a little cranky every here and there, but you know what? Like we're doing it.
It'd be like that, dog. Cranky Ernell is much preferred over like lung cancer Ernell though. So I'm down with that.
That's fair. I'll take it. Yeah. See, my game plan was some time ago, like going into, this new year and stuff like that. My game plan was, hey, like I'd like to get into the general shape that I was just right after like finishing college and stuff, when I stopped playing sports and stuff, right before I ballooned up 60 pounds because my body went into shock from no longer playing sports. So I'd like to get myself
I feel that
back into a general fit, and in order for me to do that, in order for me to start going to the gym and justifying it, I need to not smoke anymore, because I can't be up in the gym just like you
don't want to be baby lung Bob up there,
exactly. Everyone in the
just wheezing.
Seriously, and then everyone in the gym is gonna be like Devin, like, look at this fat fuck, just because he's breathing hard, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm good, Garrick. How are you doing, doggy dog?
Dude, I took a nap before the show today, dog. Like I got home from work and I was like,
nappy boy.
I wasn't feeling it. I was just like, I need a nap, dude. My sleep schedule is ruined.
Ruined.
I am either getting far too much sleep or not enough sleep, and dude, it literally I was like, yeah, I took a nap today. Chances of me being up till 3 a.m., I would say that probably went up 60% after that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That spring break fucked you pretty hard, my guy.
Dude, yes. It's been real bad. I have not corrected since. Like, my sleep schedule's just been whack since then. It's probably going to be whack until summer begins, and I have the opportunity to start over.
Oh, Surreal with the subscription. Oh, Surreal, we love you. We love you so much. I'm giving you a nut button.
Thank you.
There you go. You get a nut button. Right there. Oh, and Surreal, as one of our wonderful sword wielders, I finally did this for you and Griff. We have a socials command now for a chat after Griff had harassed me into finally doing it the other night. Not harass me because I owed him. Like, he was just trying to, he's holding me accountable, you know what I mean? But
yeah, but so he showed up in chat and tried to use them, was just like, it's like these were supposed to be here. Like somebody said they would be.
He's that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
But you want to know what we're also going to be nutting for this evening?
What's up?
The Queen of Star Wars, Nintendo dropping bombs, our Moon Knight review, and much, much more. Because this is the Good Kraken podcast. Your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time. If you are riding this wave, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Good Kraken Show, where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive post-show content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services across the digital seas.
Yarg.
That you are now, but if you have emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that's totally fine, because you can watch us record this show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, and we would love for you to give that to us to help us keep pushing content out for all of you listening or watching at home. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation point and leaving a review there.
Review.
Or now.
Garrick, my guy. Before you get into Captain's Orders here, I just wanted to mention that I was thinking about like doing it instead of yargs. I was thinking about doing just like quotes from Pirates of the Caribbean instead. It's like across the digital sea, you're a thief and a liar, Jackson.
Dude, my wife is literally watching Pirates of the Caribbean downstairs right now before I came up the show, and like, and I walked out to the kitchen, and like they're at the scene where like they're getting ready to steal the ship, and I'm like in the kitchen, and they're just like, this ship cannot be piloted by two men. And he's just like, well, maybe I haven't mentioned. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm literally mouthing the word.
Dude, I can only imagine how many times combined you and I have watched those movies. Like, it's probably disgusting. It's probably disgusting.
A lot. I've watched them a lot. Even all of them. Even the ones like after the original trilogy that aren't good. Like good. Yeah. I've watched all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just fucking gold, Disney brought us. Anyways, Garrick, what's our Captain's Orders tonight?
I don't have a jar of dirt, but go check our review of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That was a big old poppin' episode. We had 5 of the lovelies there that
5.
evening.
Yes. Good God, that was a big review. But it was a very good episode. It was probably our best review content to date, to be completely honest with you.
We all had great things to say. Like everybody made really good points, like one way or another, like about like things that they could have done a little bit better with the film and things they did. Honestly, I was really just kind of pleased with how that went in general. That was a great review.
Yes, it very much was. Esco with a subscription. Esco, we love you so much. Thank you. She said, popping in to do this, working on things. Love you, nerds. We love you too, Esco. You be good. Have a good evening, okay? Esco. Be good.
And our last, but certainly not the least important Captain's Order, join us this Saturday, May 14th, for our very special guest, Michael Higham of Fanbyte. Let's go.
Mike, our boy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Michael Higham was actually one of your guys' original guests before I joined the show, right?
Yes, Mike was in our Subtle Sound of AAPI Hate episode, the very first episode of Good Kraken. He was one of our guests that was on there. He is, at the time, was a journalist for GameSpot and has since moved over to Fanbyte, and has just been living a wonderful life. He has been kicking so much ass since getting heart surgery late last year, early this year, and having had to, really kind of go through the emotions of being in and out of a hospital for a long time. He's doing fucking good, and he's a good guy. He's a good homeboy to have around here. It's gonna be stoked to have me and him going in and talking about being Filipino as fuck in the games industry, man. It's gonna be fun. It'll be a damn good time.
Hell yeah. That sounds like it'll be a good topic. I'm excited for y'all.
Esco.
You and Devin interviewing him this weekend, right?
Yeah, that'll be us on Saturday, dude. It'll be fun. It'll be a damn good time. Esco says it did automatically yesterday, and I was like, these motherfuckers took my money. LOL. Just kidding.
Literally, I just for whatever reason, I just like pictured like Ernell walking behind Esco in a strip mall and just like taking like $4 out of her pocket.
sticking to my front over where I hear. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for
That's for me. Thank you.
Anyways,
my lord. Ernell, why don't you tell the people at home what we have coming up next?
Ladies and gentlemen and thadies and thents, what do we have next? That is a good question, Gary. Next, we have the Helm.
squawk, squawk, ding, 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 squawk, squawk. Or no, what is the Helm?
The Helm is our little accumulation of some news pieces that are just important enough that we want to make sure that we bring it to you guys at home, so you guys can keep up with some of that nerdy news that you guys love so much. And oh boy, do you all love it? You know what I'm saying? We bring it to you on this little pretty silver platter that we like to call the Good Kraken Show.
It is. I don't know about a silver platter. It's a platter of some kind.
It's a platter.
I imagine
Yeah.
it's like it's like one of those big ones with like maybe some McDonald's it's actually just those Disney McDonald's plates. It's just like a couple of those like duct taped together, and you just kind of But anyways, Chuta Gatwa will star as Doctor Who's 14th Doctor, and this is coming from Emma Roth at The Verge. Gatwa will take over the role in 2023, replacing Jodie Whittaker as the current Doctor. This role and show means so much to so many around the world, including myself. And each one of my incredibly talented predecessors has handled this unique responsibility and privilege with the utmost care, Gatwa says in the statement to BBC. I will endeavor my utmost to do the same. The Scottish actor previously, I feel like I need to include the fact that he is a Rwandan British Scottish actor.
God
like,
damn, right?
Damn, The Verge. Actor previously played Eric Afong in Netflix's comedy series Sex Education, and will also star along Margot Robbie's in the upcoming Barbie movie. Gatwa will be the first black man to play the Doctor, a role that has been passed around to different actors since Doctor Who's debut in 1963. So, how you feeling about this one or no?
First off, I'm stoked. A gay person of color playing a major fucking role for a massive IP that is popular around the entirety of the world. This is a dope fucking move for them to make. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to him for what he's gonna do in his career going forward, because you don't go into a role as Doctor Who and walk away from that not getting some great offers immediately after you're done playing as one of the Doctors, dude. So it's just like the Marvel effect, you know, like he's just pedal your way up to the top of the food chain as far as acting's concerned. I haven't watched Sex Education, so I don't know firsthand what his chops are like as far as how it could potentially relate to being one of the Doctors. But I have faith that they wouldn't have picked him for no fucking reason. Just strictly like they always pick someone good
for each Doctor. I'm actually the one thing I think that's most like curious about this is I'm a pretty big Doctor Who fan, and Chuti actually has he's got a much smaller repertoire coming into the role as the Doctor than some of his predecessors who've had actually several decades longer of acting on him than he does. Right. So that means obviously he's going to be a really young Doctor. He's actually going to be the youngest Doctor we've seen in a hot minute. I think the youngest one previously actually being Matt Smith.
Right. And we see him in fucking everything now.
And Matt Smith's in fucking everything now. So definitely he's been doing stuff recently. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. I didn't watch a ton of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, but I also I kind of fell off around halfway through Peter Capaldi's run. So I never actually got to see Peter Capaldi transition into Jodie Whittaker's Doctor.
Sure.
I like her overalls, but I haven't actually seen her in the role.
I love it.
So I'm not sure. So I'm not sure how she does in the role. But regardless of how she did, I'm really excited to see where the franchise continues to go, because it's Doctor Who. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So.
Oh, sure, yeah. And St. Ass, did you all see the Percy Jackson castings? They have filled up the other two characters next to our boy from the Adam Project, both people of color, and have been catching lots of backlash from racist fuckfaces. And see, what's surprising is that that was sort of my immediate concern, seeing the casting of is it Nkuti or is it
Chuti Gatwa. Yeah, the N is silent.
Okay, cool. Chuti Gatwa. So that was my main concern coming into seeing that announcement, was he's gonna catch a lot of backlash, right? Not only is he a black actor, but playing in a role that you can see a lot of people being like, they should not be black, but it's
which
also
is interesting
well,
because like Jodie
go
Whittaker did catch quite a bit. She caught backlash when they announced her role. I actually haven't seen anything negative about this,
surprisingly
which is interesting
enough,
because the internet.
The only negative thing that I've personally seen, now granted, I'm sure there's fuck faces out there and like saying some shit about this casting is probably fucking insufferable. But me personally, I usually see at least like 2 or 3 people say some shit and I'm like, haha, you're blocked. Right? So like usually I see
like,
some stupid shit. Yeah, I ain't fucking around with you. But the most like even just are like argumentative take that I've seen so far is, well, he's not a ginger. I was like,
see, and honestly,
sure.
that's the thing. Like that's one of those things. Like it's so much of a running joke that the Doctor wants to be ginger. He can never be ginger.
Yeah, right. Which is
you can't give it to him.
Right,
but,
exactly. Which is why instead I was like, that's fucking hilarious. So like, what? Like,
exactly.
I haven't seen any negative feedback from it so far.
No,
which
me
is great.
either. My only critique is really just the fact that I just noticed that he's coming into the role as a Doctor a little bit more inexperienced than his predecessors. So I'm just curious to see where that will go. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, they get picked for a reason. I'm almost positive Jodie Whittaker was a part of David Tennant's detective show Broadchurch, which fucking slapped. So
I haven't watched yet. No.
It's great. David Tennant is just great though.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
But I don't know. I'm so excited to see where this goes. This is a good announcement.
It's gonna be
looking
fun.
forward to it.
It's gonna be fun for sure.
Alrighty. Moving up next, we have EVE Online developer is making yet another FPS set in the sci-fi universe. This is coming from Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. As reported by PC Games N, CCP Games announced at EVE FanFest 2022 that the shooter was already in development, and while it's not ready for the full reveal yet, a piece of concept art was shown. We recognize that a hard sci-fi FPS game set in the EVE universe is a very popular concept, and CCP is committed to offering an innovative multiplayer shooter with atmospheric visuals. The developer said in a statement, "We want to show you rather than tell you how we have evolved the concept, and we're looking forward to doing so when the time comes to reveal the game." Did you ever play EVE Online, Ernell? I know about it. I know it exists, but like it's so nebulous to me. I've never touched EVE.
Yeah, I have not either, but I do know the importance of EVE in the gaming industry and how a lot of gamers are fans of EVE Online, and that means something for a lot of people. I also know how absolutely gut-wrenching it is to see someone who is a massive fan of EVE Online have this company be one of their favorite developers not branching out from the the formula that they've so welcomely acclimated themselves to. So which is kind of like why this ended up being in our news here. Anyways, is like I get a little upset when I see developers just kind of take this same beaten path over and over again when obviously their audience is begging for something different, right? Now, the question is the audience for EVE Online actually begging for something different, or are they begging for more EVE Online? That is a question to be asked. And I would maybe argue that a little bit of both. You know, I would maybe say they would probably want a little bit of both. They maybe still want sci-fi, but they don't necessarily want FPS, or they do want FPS and they want sci-fi, but they don't necessarily want it to be in the same universe or have the same story. Who knows? I mean, like we see games like Destiny, for example, who've kind of punched, and thankfully, like, they've come out with some really, really great content, but eventually that's going to, like, they're gonna have to do something different, right? Larry with the subscription. We love you, Larry, dude. Thank you, dog. We love you.
Yeah, that's the thing is like with because EVE Online has been around for quite some time now. Like its original release date, like way back, like it's like early 2000s, I think, is when it came into conception.
I believe, right?
Around the World of Warcraft ish time, and dude, it's kind of sad to see. Because like even though I've never played the game, like I've heard everybody's heard of EVE Online if you play video games,
right?
if you have a Steam account, basically, right? And so
yeah, exactly.
And so it's weird to see like there's like staying in your lane, right? And then there's whatever the hell this is, because it's almost like you guys they're like afraid to try anything new, like as a studio.
Right.
And so you're like, oh, we get it, like the Eve fans want more Eve, but like you guys don't want to try anything else at all.
I guess if it sells, it sells. I guess. Like, it's just a question of, is it going to sell? Because, like, as far as I know, like, EVE Online has not done crazy good over the course of the past decade. Maybe I would say
it's been
like
a pretty slow decline. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and so like I guess like they're trying to give this the little jump start to the heart that they're begging for EVE Online to do, but like how much faith can we have in a game developer that hasn't been able to keep up with their content? You know what I mean? Like, it's the only thing they can develop sci-fi action FPS games. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say, but I guess we'll see.
Indeed. Also, you're going to be seeing some shit from Star Wars here soon, because Star Wars Ahsoka series production start announced by Disney Plus. This is coming from Kofi Outlaw at comicbook.com.
Dope
The
fucking
start
name.
of
Dope
dude,
fucking name, dude.
I read that
Kofi
and I was just like,
Outlaw.
damn, like
God
Kofi
damn.
Outlaw. I was just like, honestly, even if that's just a pen name, good for fucking you. It's a good one.
You.
Keep it.
Good for you.
Like, for real. The start of filming on Ahsoka was announced by Disney Plus over social media with a director's chair in front of playback monitors showing a familiar-looking cowboy hat draped over one corner. Fans of Ahsoka Tano know that the hat belongs to Dave Filoni, the Star Wars TV guru who helped make Ahsoka a franchise icon in Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels animated series. Before bringing her into live action, played by Rosario Dawson, god damn, for The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, now Ahsoka will finally get the big spotlight on herself. This is probably
damn, dude,
the piece of Star Wars content I am the most excited for, like, outside of like the KOTOR remake. I love Ahsoka as a character. I watched her, like, I growing up watched her in Clone Wars. Loved her a character in Rebels. I read her transitionary solo book. Like, I love Ahsoka. Hands down, one of my favorite like Star Wars characters. I love the backstory of how she gets her white lightsabers and like purifies like the kyber. It is so dope. Like, I love her struggle with like the Jedi, with like the Jedi Order, and so getting to see like a live action version of that, either that transitionary period or like post that. And I'm sure we'll see parts of like how she becomes who she is now, like in snippets, I'm hoping. But dude, there's just so much to look forward to. And knowing that like Hayden Christensen is not only returning for the Obi-Wan series, but also for Ahsoka, fuck me all the way up, dude. I'm so ready.
Dude, goddamn, for real. You owe Morbid a hydrate, but just to add on to what you're saying, you fucking nailed it. 100%. Gotta echo what you were saying. I think it is incredible that they're giving us this after years of build-up, years of people asking for Ahsoka to come to live-action Star Wars, and what a better way to fucking do it. Disney has made such a habit of giving people the fan castings that they want, like majority case, and we've seen it time and time and time again. In some cases, including somewhat recently, we've seen it very much happen, and having Rosario Dawson play as Ahsoka has been just an epic fan casting that's been down the pipeline for a fucking decade now, if not like longer, dude, because this is incredible that they're giving us this. She's a phenomenal fucking actress. Even just having Ahsoka in the couple parts we've had her in Mandalorian has been amazing. Fucking amazing, dude.
Her intro scene in The Mandalorian where like she just like I did it, pissed and farted and comment, dude. Like, I was like, I was just like, yes, the white lightsaber, let's fucking go, dude. And dude, they even got her lightsaber. They gave her the shorter Tonto lightsaber, and I was just like, you did it right,
dude.
I was just like, her tentacles are a little short, but I can let that go. But
yeah, no, exactly, right. And it's just incredible because like we were dreading that we weren't gonna get like full on Ahsoka, right? We were like, okay, like she'll show up, but what else does that mean, right? Are we gonna get her in full action? And just like I said, they're fucking delivering, dude. They fucking deliver time and time again. I am so happy that we get to live in a world where Marvel and Star Wars are some of the most hype fucking content we can possibly consume right now. And it's exciting to be this way about this, right? It feels good to know that like we're getting catered to as a couple of fucking dorks that just watch this shit and waste our time watching this bullshit, but we're happy doing it because they keep nailing it every goddamn time. Like, Sony, just give us Spider-Man back, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah, like come on. Like Disney clearly has the formula on lock. They know what they're doing. They know who they're casting. They have good directors. Like they even like, dude, even when people were kind of like meh about like Book of Boba Fett originally, like I'm sorry, like you can say what you want about those first couple episodes, but that shit paid out and then some. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't dislike it, but it was a slow build. But like, dude, like everything that they did with like the Tusken Raiders, like that shit was rad.
Such as good storytelling, dude. Oh my god,
world building. And so like I loved that, and so and to get to see it play out and get us like that almost kind of Mando point 5 season thing going on towards the end. Mm-hmm. Dude, it was just like I was like, yeah, this played out, and like it just sets up more fun and bigger and better things that we're gonna get to see from like the Star Wars like expanded cinematic universe. I don't even know what the hell they're calling it these days.
I know, man.
From the Star Wars franchise.
God
and dude,
damn.
it's just so like, I'm really excited for this. Like really excited. So
me too.
Cannot. It's just I need more of her. I need more Ahsoka. Like so badly.
So badly. And they did her character a lot of justice, dude. Surreal says, I need Rosario Dawson in more movies, dude. Dude, same. Cause like, oh, Morbid, I still judge her for carrying Dante's baby. Exactly. Clerks 2 is when I like first discovered Rosario Dawson for like her as a human being, as an actress, same. And I was like, she is amazing. She fucking kills it in everything she touches, and for some reason, somehow, some way, has not aged a goddamn day since even Clerks 2 came around. My guy, like it is insane.
She really hasn't.
Like
she really has.
Like fine wine, my guy. Like fine wine. Some other things that are not like fine wine, though, my friend. PS5 misses its 2021 sales target, but aims for its strongest year yet. This comes from Ryan Denziel over at IGN, and he says this: Sony's PlayStation 5 has now sold 19.3 million units, but fell short of its original fiscal year 2021 sales target by 3.3 million. Despite the dip, Sony still expects to sell more units than ever before in the next year. Sony originally forecasted selling 14.8 million units of PS5 hardware in its second year on the market, but Sony revealed in its latest financial earnings result that it instead sold 11.5 million units. This matches the late adjustment that Sony made 2 months before the conclusion of the 2021 to 2022 financial year, which lowered PS5 sales expectations to 11.5 million. As you'd expect, Sony puts the underperformance down to an ongoing difficulty in obtaining hardware components after global shortages. Oh, Garrick, my guy, are we surprised by this?
Fucking cry about it, Sony. Figure your shit out.
It's your fucking fault, Sony. It's your goddamn fault, man.
Like you should have either pre-produced far more units than you did, or you should have delayed your launch by a couple of months so you could backstock units to have people available to buy. Like honestly, I'm flabbergasted that it's even sold 19.3 million. I was just like, I have a feeling that like 17.3 million of you guys are fucking liars. Like,
at least, right? Like, well, and then like the thing is too is that like they've sold 19.3 million units, but how many of those were actual people? You know what I mean? Because like how many
how many of those were bots,
dude? Like Jesus Christ! And like I get it, they don't care, right? Because they're making their money, right? It doesn't matter if it was a bot, if it was a human. There's actual money, tangible money that's being traded for these things, so they could give a fuck less, right? And so it's like, it's disappointing to think that like they're over here like, yeah, we sold like 11.5. It's not as much as we wanted, blah blah blah. But it's like, but to who? To who? Like
Yeah,
I'm the only
who
person.
Did you sell the 11.5 to? Like, I would love.
Like,
I've only seen a PlayStation 5 in real life once. Like,
and it wasn't even owned by anybody, right? Like, if I remember correctly.
No, I have one friend that actually owns one. I have one friend that owns two friends that own a PlayStation 5, but I've only actually seen one of them in person.
Right, and the other one's me. Exactly. So it's like, and even like with me, it's like me and my brother. They're the only two people I know within my personal vicinity that has even been within like a foot of a PS5, let alone have one. Like,
right?
it's bonkers to me to think that like they're even at all talking about this, right? Because it's like, this is the weirdest fucking like year, like release year for a console historically ever, period, ever, right? And it's like, you can't really think that like this is something to even be disappointed by, because 11.5 million units during a fucking global pandemic is
with chip shortages.
It's still insane. That's still an insane fucking amount of units, dude. Like, that's one of the highest like selling things in the fucking world throughout the course of the pandemic. Like, it has to be, dude. Like, it's insane to me to think about. It's insane to me to think about how it's probably not going to go much better for the next couple years. Like, like the PS5 is still going to be difficult to get for another couple of years potentially.
Oh,
like,
dude, I was able to get I got a Switch like on launch by the grace of whatever gods you believe in.
Right.
And it's like that was flabbergasting to me. Like the fact that I was able to get a hold of those, because those were impossible to get for like almost a year. But we're going on like 2 freaking years now, and like I've still never seen a PlayStation 5 on a store shelf.
Ever, dude, ever.
I've seen Switches and Series X's and S's in store shelves since then. And but like
what are they doing?
Not even a digital version, man. Like nothing.
What are they doing? What are they doing? Like I just don't understand. Like how is it that we how are we able to have this situation where Sony's the only odd one out here? I just don't understand anymore, guys. I don't understand anymore. Like how have we allowed this to fucking happen in the games industry? I don't fucking get it. On the other hand, though, and speaking of Switch is still outselling everything else despite ongoing chip shortage. This comes from Ari Notice over at Kotaku. Today, in its annual earnings statement, Nintendo cited the ongoing chip shortage as a reason for a precipitous annual dip in Switch hardware sales, while in the same breath saying it hit company targets. Well, technically, over the course of Nintendo's fiscal year 2022, which started last April and ran through the end of this past March, the company sold 23 million Switch consoles. 23 million Switch
casually double PlayStation 5's global yearly sales.
And get this, a 20% drop from the prior year. That stat, by the way, is tallied across all 3 iterations: the standard edition, the handheld only light, and the snazzy new OLED model, which was released last October. In a vacuum, 23 million is an eye-popping figure, but it's also a case of moving goalposts. Initially, Nintendo set itself the goal of selling 25.5 million Switch consoles over the course of its 2022 fiscal year. In November, the company reduced that figure to 24 million, before reducing it again in February to 23 million, which it passed by 60,000. To date, the Switch has sold 107 million units, more than the Wii at 101 million, but still far less than Nintendo DS at 154 million. And just like you said, Garrick, just casually doubling what the fucking PS5 sold, dog.
Dude, for real. Okay, like a couple of weeks ago, Devin and I had a lovely little episode titled "Does the Switch Hold Up?" Yes. This is proof enough that it's when you're moving units like this 7 years after the console's launched.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
dude,
you are going.
And it's insane, dude. It's insane to think because like the Switch, like so for anybody who doesn't know, because I haven't really had a chance to talk about it on content yet, but I just recently actually bought a Switch off of my sweet friend Summer, who sold it to me for $150, and she gave me the Switch and Super Smash Bros. Outstanding fucking deal she gave me, and she basically was like, I got the OLED, I have no reason to have this anymore, so if you want this, I'll sell it to you for a lot cheaper. And I was like, fucking bless your heart, absolutely, I'll get that. And I got it. And when I first had a Switch many moons ago, because I got it during release period as well, it was my Octopath Traveler machine, and I
Breath of the Wild machine. I get it.
Yeah, and I wasn't crazy interested in Breath of the Wild at the time, so I was like, sure, like, I'll play this for now, and I'll see what else comes out. And for the first few months, nothing else really came out. So I sold the bitch. And what do you know? I sold it 3 months after I got it. It was month 4 when all the good stuff started getting announced.
Yeah, dude. That was good. Like they started that. Then we started getting like the Mario Kart and the Mario Party entries, and then we started getting like new stuff. Like we started getting like the ports and the remakes. Like shit, like Bravely Second. We started getting like Skyward Sword. Dude, yeah. Switch. It was kind of a slow release, like game release year after the launch of the console, but like. Yeah. Ever since then, I mean, is their AAA catalog still smaller than like every other bigger console? Yeah, but that's mostly due to the limitations of their hardware. But everything that they do have on there, like, runs pretty like well within like the confines of the hardware that it runs on, for the most part. And dude, I'm not surprised like or shocked at this at all. Right. I still play my Switch like pretty regularly. Like there's a brand new Monster Hunter like expansion that's going to be coming out. I will probably put another freaking 100 hours into that crap. And so like I've got like a ton of hours like physically on my like playing my Switch like across various franchises. I think this will definitely pass eventually the Nintendo DS.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure
it'll get there.
Yeah.
But like the DS was like that shit was like a phenomena.
Yeah, dude. Well, and even now, like having my Switch currently, like I went and I borrowed Let's Go Pikachu from the guitarist in my band. He has virtually like every major Switch title like to date. So he was like, hey, if you need to borrow anything, I'll let you borrow it. And I was like, bet, right? So I got Let's Go Pikachu off of him, and I've been playing the fuck out of that, just scratching every little nostalgia itch that I possibly could have. And and I've been playing the shit out. I've been genuinely enjoying my time with the Nintendo Switch. I've been playing my Nintendo Switch, honestly, more than I've been playing my PS5, kinda. And definitely more than I've been playing my Xbox. And so it's like, it's interesting to see how dude, the Nintendo Switch is just such a good piece of hardware. It's such a, and like short of like what could potentially become of the Steam Deck and like what we could get when we finally get our hands on that, if that's something that either of us are interested in, which I definitely am. I feel like I'm interested in the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I don't know if I'm interested enough to spend the $400 on it, but
I'm gonna wait for like the version 2 model after they've worked out all the issues from the first. I owned an out the door Switch. I know what that was like. I'm not doing that with the Steam Deck.
Right, dude. And like I just like Morbid says in chat for me, it's a handheld factor. It's so convenient. It's just super like I can take it with me to my work and play it on my lunch break. And so it's like I can have that now. And like Saint in chat saying like I want to get one for Animal Crossing. I was telling Garrick before this episode, my copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons just came in today, literally before like we started the episode. I'm super excited to play it because I'm actually enthusiastic about playing on a Switch. Like super enthusiastic. I'm gonna have to
clean my island up because like we're gonna be trading fruit.
Yeah, we gotta visit each other's islands.
We gotta visit each other.
Yeah,
like, I'll go pick the weeds. I'll go pick the weeds.
Right. It's gonna be good, dude. It's gonna be good. Yeah, I'm excited. It's cool to see the Nintendo still kicking ass, my dude. Now some other stuff that could potentially be kicking ass. Garrick, you're gonna jump in. Go ahead.
Hold on, real quick. I was like, dude, even Morbid in chat's like, might need to go clean up my island. Let's fucking go. The boys are playing Animal Crossing. Let's go.
Dude, Saint, you need to fucking get it and let us know when you have it.
Just make Devin so mad. We're all gonna be playing Animal Crossing.
He's gonna be so pissed, dude. Animal Crossing. No fucking yeah, we're gonna like go play fucking Fortnite, you nerd. Top 10 game of all time, right? He's like, Yeah, I know. But some other shit that I could potentially kick some ass. Gotham Knights is no longer coming to PS4 or Xbox One. It's because of Michael McWhorter over at Polygon. In a news release announcing a new gameplay trailer for Gotham Knights, WBIE, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, said, quote, to provide players with the best possible gameplay experience, the game will release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and will not be available for PlayStation 4 or Xbox One consoles, end quote. When Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment and developer Warner Brothers Games Montreal announced Gotham Knights back in August 2020, it was a cross-generation game, but it appears the ongoing delayed development of the cooperative action-adventure has shifted it to the current generation platforms only. Gotham Knights is slated for release on October 25th after being delayed out of 2021 last year. So you and I talked about it a little bit before we went live. And what are your feely-heelies, my dude, on this gameplay trailer that we got today? There's some stuff that we got shown as far as the game is concerned. How are you feeling after seeing it?
So have you? I don't know if you about you. I watched like the full 13-minute gameplay demo that they dropped today.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see quite a bit of gameplay from Dick Grayson's Nightwing and Jason Todd's Red Hood. I'm like hopefully optimistic that this game is going to be a really dope like co-op experience, kind of a la Spider-Man, but with like that Arkham Knight sort of feel with like the cooperative. My biggest concerns right now are definitely like animation fidelity and smoothness.
Yes.
Like across the board. But like with that being like kind of my biggest gripe, and we're still 5 months away from launch, if animation polish is my biggest concern, I'm feeling pretty good. This being like our first gameplay demo that we've gotten. Do I want to see more gameplay? Like, I'm a little... The part that worries me the most was the fact that in the gameplay demo, we only got to see 2 characters rather than 4.
Right. Like,
Which
are
means
the other two not
characters,
ready?
they're not right. Like, that's what I'm thinking from it. Like, maybe they're not ready to showcase just yet. And that's okay. Because it looks like everyone's kind of got like the same like basis, like the shell, and then like they've got adjusted animations and skins based off of their characters and techniques. So I'm sure they'll get that rounded out pretty smoothly. I don't know what people were saying about the art style online. I'm not sure if that was one of the critiques that people have seen. It doesn't necessarily look like new gen. It's not like eye-poppingly crisp, surreal, like hyper-realistic visuals.
Right.
But it almost looks like... You've seen the original Batman, like the animated series, where like a lot of the color palette kind of has like a purpley to it.
Right.
This feels that way to me. Like you kind of get like the purple hues in the sky, but it's not. But it's not as dark and as gritty as the Arkham series.
Correct. Right.
And like I kind of enjoy that it's like an in between that and like the more realistic looking like Marvel Spider-Man that we got. Which I feel like this game's probably going to be the 2 games that are going to be the easiest to compare to.
For right now, right? Yeah.
For right now, yeah. Until we see a little bit more, because that's kind of what they showed us. That's what it's reminiscent of, at least in my mind. I'm hopefully optimistic. Based off of like the way the story and some of like the gameplay and character mechanics, like voice acting was really good. I really was impressed by that.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that I counterpicked this against Stefan. just a little bit.
Yeah.
That this is gonna like that they're gonna like take that community feedback and like really polish like that feedback that they get from that gameplay demo up, and that this is gonna be like a smash hit cooperative like action adventure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to say because I saw a wide spectrum of different opinions on this from people that are like, oh, dude, this actually looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, to a lot of people be like, this is absolute garbo looking, and I'm sort of in between, and it's hard for me to really like look at it in the state that it's at now and kind of like have any real feelings, because like we see this all the time with video games. Like 5 to 6 months is a long time for them to polish some things up. Especially at this phase of things where the game's virtually almost done. All they really have to do is polish things up before it goes gold, and so it's like there's there's thoughts to say like sure, like I can understand where people's criticisms are, because I have them too. They like some of the movement was very janky. Some of the things looked just way too uncomfortably stiff. Like I can understand, like in a world where we get games that have such smooth movement like Elden Ring, for example, like it's hard to really like look at a game that's like that clunky and like sort of, you know, give it some leeway, but we're still
Yeah.
months away from this game being completely complete, right? And so it's like it's impossible to really say like what it could potentially be. I don't necessarily blame you for being worried about counterpicking this because it could absolutely fucking slap and we have no damn clue. You know, like
It's definitely still in the state that we've 13 minutes sounds like a big gameplay demo, but when you consider that not only is this designed to be a cooperative experience, it is an open world game, which means there was a lot of shit we did not get the opportunity to see.
mhm,
And while like the skybox and the world box and everything like draw distance looked really good and pretty complete, the the core character animations definitely looked the most out of place, like the
right,
funkiest.
right.
And like not even so much like Nightwing, because I'm like we get it. He can do flips in the trailer, guys. Like, oh my god. Um
Yeah, it's fucking killing me.
fucking dude, not Dick Pointless Flips Grayson over here. Shit. But like it was like, oh, like I get it. They're showing off like this is like really how his comp, like they wanted to like to show off the acrobatics because like that's his character. And
Yeah,
like so they like
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, like, why the fuck does Jason Todd, like, I get that you resurrected the dude, but he shouldn't be fighting like a zombie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm also a little concerned about some of the traversal stuff. I think that's kind of honestly my biggest concern is like we've seen like what good traversal can look and feel like in Spider-Man in Miles Morales, and like them coming
hell
into
yeah.
this with Nightwing having a fucking like rocket glider is a little weird to me. And I get that it's not the same type of hero, and we're not going to be able to
Yeah.
have the same kind of traversal that Spider-Man had, but I feel like there was something better they could have offered than just a rocket glider and Red Hood like bouncing off of like a like hologram plateau through the air. A part of
Yeah.
me feels like they could have done better. Even if it was just like some form of like mini copter they could have fucking given us like a mini Nightwing, not Nightwing, a mini Batwing ship of some sort that Nightwing could have traversed in or something, you
Yeah.
know, like
Dude, and
something
it's
that would have been cooler, you know.
right, and it's kind of weird, right? Because they did kind of show something that looked like that in like the form of the fast bat, which was like
Hmm.
the fast travel thing they showed off.
Right.
And then apparently every hero has access to the bat cycle. Like every hero can use the bat
Right.
cycle. That's like ground traversal for everybody. And then Nightwing had the jet thing.
It's not
And
like jet glider thing, and I was like, why did they
it
choose? Why
wasn't
did they choose
necessarily
that?
like it's not necessarily a bad idea, but like the thing that like really irked me, that like I was just like, it's he's so stiff there
Yeah.
that like you can't even like, I was only able to tell that he was ascending or descending based off of the movement of this, like the background.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
because he just like all the only movement you get from his character in that is like it's just like the jets like adjusting from up to down.
Yeah.
And I
And
was
then
just
he's
like,
just like,
and he's just there. You're just like, his feet gotta at least like dangle or something.
right.
And then like there was just like, and with Jason Todd's like Red Hood's traversal, like he basically has the ability to like propel himself using like his own soul energy because he was resurrected by a cult.
Right.
And so but like the way it looks in game is like you jump, and when you jump it like creates like this soul platform
Right.
underneath you.
Right.
But the problem is right now is I can literally see the platform. Like when you're like, yep, that's a fucking rectangle you got under
Yeah,
there.
literally,
Like you guys need
literally.
to hide that shit. And so like it's so like, yep, I get it. Like I understand it's got like the kind of like the Mr. Negative looking effect, but like you can still see some like the underlying rough work on it. And you're like, all right, we need to smooth that out.
But then,
And
like,
but
but
and
then,
then he also had the grappling hook,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, none of his limbs moved.
Like, and that's the part that upsets me is like there was so much space for them to like have these characters have like the subtle cues that we saw in Traversal from Spider-Man and Miles Morales, where like they're not just swinging and it's like a stiff body just gliding through the air. Like their legs are kicking up, they're adding commentary, they're moving their arms around. There's different like character animations for while they're swinging, and like we've seen what that can look like. And if this game is taking inspiration from one Spider-Man and or Miles Morales, like you'd think that that if there's anything they would have taken from it was the heart and soul of having that character come to life in a way that is so subtle but like noticed by all of us, of like that feels like I'm actually controlling Spider-Man and not just some character model that is dressed like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? And that was the difference between Spider-Man a la PS2 and Spider-Man PS4, right? Like
yeah,
so
exactly. Like in that generation, like, you know, when you would like web sling, it would literally like the web would just go up and it would just connect to like the sky essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like, but this has like, but Spider-Man's got like those real physics, and it's gonna be, if you watch that trailer, it is going to be impossible not to compare those games at the present.
Yes, 100%.
Like, it literally looks exactly like Spider-Man and Arkham Knight. Like, you can tell it takes exactly like from Insomniac and Rocksteady. Like, that's where this game's inspiration comes from. And like right now, it is like a little bit more on the Rocksteady side. But like, dude, even on the Batman's combat was smooth as shit in that game.
Yeah.
The Batmobile was a whole other story. We won't talk about that shit. It was awful. But with a game where like they're actually toting and like advertising multiple like traversals, and that's something that like they want to feel unique. Like, you guys shape that up. Like, you need to make it feel unique. Like, if you guys want that to be like something that you showed off, like, you guys, that was a feature you chose to highlight. Give us a reason to want it to be something that was worth highlighting.
Goddamn. Amen, my guy. Amen. What do we got next for the people, dude?
Ooh, we have coming up some good shit. But in the meantime, before we move on to our next segment, I just want to remind all of you lovelies at home that you can support us by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/goodkrakenshow, where you can get early access on this episode before it goes public. You can write into the show, and you can get this episode ad-free. But if you're hearing this right now, you're not on our Patreon. And so for now, here's a word from our sponsor.
This piece of good Kraken content is brought to you by Glide mousepads. The world is changing, and the demand for PC gaming and work from home setups has never been as wild as it is right now. Having the best of the best in PC accessories only makes it easier to get your work done before you jump right back in to the fray of the digital sea. And Glide knows exactly how to make that happen for you. Glide Mousepads is the future industry leader in mousepads, offering beautiful, smooth, waterproof products made with eco-friendly materials and non-slip rubber in a variety of sizes that are guaranteed to help you get that next win. I've got one of these bad boys in my office at work. I've got one here at my desk right now. Devin's got one. Xander's got one. This bad boy is silky smooth. Silkier and smoothier than even the silkiest of smoothies or soy milk or what have you. You can go to glidemousepads.com right now and use code Kraken for 15% off the Founders Edition mousepad in every size available. Again, that's code KRAKEN, Kraken, for 15% off any Founders Edition mousepad today. Our next sponsor is Rogue Energy. Late nights are pretty much commonplace for all content creators, and anyone here at GK can attest that late nights are kind of our only nights. Luckily for us, though, Rogue has figured out exactly how to give those late nights and even earlier mornings the supercharge that we all need. Rogue Energy is a low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula that is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Every formula Rogue Energy produces is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients and no chalky textures. Again, we don't want that. We don't want that. Being the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, Rogue Energy strives to improve the in-game performance of gamers, streamers, and content creators around the world. Now, I know that we've been riding this train for a long time. You might be tired of us talking about this. You might not be tired of us. You might want to just support us anyways. And you know what? For those that do support us, we love you. But the best way to support us right now is to grab yourself a big old cup of Joe. When I say Joe, I mean this Rogue Energy stuff. I need you waking up first thing in the morning with a big old shit to get a big old shit going. Oh, wow. You grab your Rogue Energy cup. Okay, you dip that bad, you just scoop that bad boy right on there. You get that bad boy shaky dakey, you know what I'm saying? And then you're out the dang door. Okay, you need this beverage in your life. I cannot express that enough. You can head on over to rogueenergy.com and use code GKRAKEN for 10% off any purchase of shaker or formula tub of your choosing. That's GKRAKEN for 10% off any shaker or formula tub that you would like. Now, back to the episode.
Look, y'all, just give that a quick, just a shaky dakey.
Shaky
just a quick shaky
dakey.
The shaky dakey. Dude, like, that's like my favorite part of the ad read. The shaky dakey.
The shaky dakey, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
It's just like the cold cut to like the zoom of your It literally gets me every time, dude.
So fucking mad at myself for letting myself record that so late at night and just letting the energy brew.
You literally had like just, you could tell it was, you could literally like, it has, the ad read just has 3 a.m. energy. Like,
yeah. I'm both disappointed and proud of myself for that.
It's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
In the meantime, Garrick, what are we doing next, my dude? What are we doing next, my guy?
Oh, you better protect your neck, because we are headed to the Gallows. And yeah, sorry for the sound effects. Tonight on the Gallows, if you notice, we skipped our hands on deck segment,
yes,
which we normally don't do on Tuesdays. But this is a special episode because we had Marvel content finish and a new movie come out. So you're getting 2 Marvel reviews from us in a week time. So enjoy there.
Let's go.
With that being said, tonight we are reviewing the Disney Plus series Moon Knight. And Ernell, why don't you hit the lovelies at home with some facts?
My people, Moon Knight review. Let's talk about it, guys. Released on first episode, March 30th, 2022. Directed by Mohamed Diab, with 6 episodes and a runtime of 44 minutes to 53 minutes per episode. Mohamed Diab, very interesting stuff here, is actually very much an Egyptian director who, prior to coming into Moon Knight, exclusively directed pieces of cinema that were directly correlated to Egyptian culture. So them picking him up for this was grand in giving us a story that was actually about like representation. So it was dope as fuck from there. Some trivia for you guys. For the scenes where Steven and Mark interact with each other, rather than have Oscar Isaac try to act against a green screen stand-in or an extra, Marvel hired Isaac's real-life brother, the journalist actor Michael Benjamin, quote, Bro Dameron Hernandez, to serve as his double as a way to help Isaac act opposite of himself. Isaac said during a Moon Knight press conference that his brother is the closest thing to him there is on Earth. Excuse me, I stumbled across my words there. This way, Isaac was able to seamlessly differentiate between the characters and was able to feed off of Hernandez's energy as if he was actually acting against himself. Get the brother, man. Gotta get the brother.
Dude, that's a smart way to kind of do that. Like,
good move.
Especially if you want like a good personal connection with like the person. Dude, because there's some he does a really good job like conveying like emotion in this, so that kind of pieces that together. So maybe that was why we got some of that.
Yeah, he did, dude. Saint says, "Oh my god, there's a brother to Oscar." What? Yeah, no, honestly, I didn't realize Oscar Isaac had a brother either. I don't even know what this guy looks like. You know what I'm saying? Here, let's find out. I'm gonna find out here really quick. Oscar Isaac brother. Let's see. Oscar Isaac brother. All right, let's see here. Oh wait, no, that's okay. That's just Oscar Isaac. I was like, wait. Okay, all right. I can kind of hear. I'll show you guys here in the browser screen here. Let me set this up, and here you go. Okay, so that's Oscar Isaac's brother. This is Oscar Isaac's brother right here, and doesn't look crazy a lot like it. I think the hair and head shape are there. I think that's kind of.
But you can tell they're related.
Right,
and they look like brothers.
Over here's like they're very reminiscent of each other, right? Aw, Pedro Pascal with Oscar Isaac. They're like best friends. I love that so much.
Yeah.
That makes me so fucking happy, dude. It makes me so damn happy. Anyways, more trivia for you guys. Since Marvel Studios decided to set Moon Knight in London to differentiate from the other many other titles set in New York City, Oscar Isaac decided to give Stephen Grant a high-pitched working-class British accent, even though that wasn't indicated in the script. Isaac's British accent was criticized by the audience as soon as the first trailer was released, but Isaac explained that he put on a London English accent for Stephen that he suggested was intentionally bizarre and unconvincing. He was inspired by the accents of the Jewish community living in Enfield, London, as well as English comedians such as Carl Pilkington, and Peter Sellers. So we talked about this before, you and I and Devin. They're like he very purposefully did that dorky English accent because it was supposed to be his perception of what an English accent was, right? Not like what an actual...
Yeah, because he was a child. He was like a child when his personality... Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. It's that dope fucking little detail there. I love that shit so much when like the actors are willing to kind of take it that one little extra step. Saint says that's so cool about the filming. I love fun facts like that. That's why we do trivia, Saint. That's why we like to do trivia.
We like the trivia.
Let's go. Next up, the QR codes shown throughout the series actually work, and when scanned by a smartphone, they will redirect to a page on the official Marvel website where it's possible to read a free online issue of the Moon Knight comics related to the latest episode.
What the hell?
Looks like I gotta go get some comics, dog. Looks like I gotta go get some comics, baby.
Dude, I'm gonna rewatch those and find all the QR codes
let's fucking go, dude. So all you people at home, go get your comic. Go get your free Moon Knight comic off the Marvel website. Let's fucking
That's
do
so
it.
dope.
That's so fucking cool. All the scenes set in Egypt were actually shot in Budapest, Hungary. In an interview with the Egyptian website PhilFan on March 20th, 2022, director Mohamed Diab said Moon Knight was set to be filmed in Egypt, but due to the difficulty of obtaining permits, the shooting was moved to Hungary. Diab said that approximately 3 billion Egyptian pounds, equivalent to $165 million, were spent in the Hungarian capital Budapest during the filming. Holy shit.
God damn.
But also, didn't realize I was hungry. That definitely would have beat me out, as far as Budapest is concerned. I guess in the first episode, when Mark Spector ends up Steven, wakes up and he's in the middle of that that town in the middle of that open fucking field or whatever. That kind of looked like Budapest.
Oh, when he was in the
when he first meets
like
Ethan Hawke, right?
Yeah, he was like in the Himalayas. There's like or wherever the hell he was.
Yeah, right. Like it looked like I don't know, Sweden or some shit.
Yeah, somewhere very Eastern European ingrained.
Yeah, right. He looks up and some guy's like, "I'm from Holland, isn't that weird?" And he's
yeah, that's the vibe you got.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? Mark Spector's Moon Knight suit has hieroglyphics on his trousers, which read, quote, "Rise and live again as my fist of vengeance, my Moon Knight." And I had to leave that as the last piece of trivia because that goes hard as fucking shit, dude. That's so cool. They're talking about his suit, Mr. Knight. By the way, his pants.
Oh, real Mr. Knight's suit.
The pants, yes, have hieroglyphics on it.
That's so sick. Dude, there's some little things I'm not surprised I missed.
Dude, that's so fucking raw, man. I love little details like that when they think about that extra level, dude. I love it so much. Saying the little mountain town likely under the Alps, exactly. Right.
The Alps, yes, it was in fact in the Alps. They say that.
Alps,
they say that later on. Yeah,
because that looked as close to what I would imagine Budapest to look like outside of Budapest. Did you all see this concept art where the Dapper suit had a hood? I did, and I know that got a lot of discourse because a lot of people were like, "No, that looks dumb." It looked fucking dope. I don't care what anybody says.
I liked it.
As a suit blazer with a fucking hood on. Are you kidding me? That's sick
as an Assassin's Creed fan.
100%, dog. 100%. Now, Garrick, as a Moon Knight fan, what were your top level thoughts of Moon Knight?
Where to begin? This film, if it felt like a film every episode. That's actually one.
God damn it.
I felt like the quality of the episode was really high this time around. Like you felt the production quality. And I don't know if it's just because as a character, like Moon Knight didn't interact with any outside Marvel characters. It is a completely individual, isolated Marvel cinematic experience, which is really unique, especially given the fact that we are like deep into Phase 4 at this point, right? In terms of like the TV shows that we've gotten in the movies we've gotten to parallel them, and it stands alone and above all at the same time. This film is literally only hampered by Daddy Oscar Isaac's inability to act as Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, and Jake Lockley. Like it's just it's so like Moon Knight will only be hampered by his inability. I don't even know if that man has an acting ceiling at this point, because
goddamn right.
After dude, I was so stoked with him as Leto in Dune, and then he tenfolded it in this series. Like Oscar Isaac's performance is hands down the absolute star. Like when it comes to this series, it is the highlight. It is the best part. In my opinion, loved it. Like loved the portrayal, the emotions, all of the characters had, and a surprisingly accurate on-screen representation of DID.
Yes, very much so.
Which and like there's actually articles from psychiatrists and stuff that like even like said like, yeah, this is like, as far as like being able to represent it on screen, like this is a really good, really well done job. Getting to see all the Egyptian gods come to life and getting to really see gods that weren't like Thor and Loki, kind of a powerful moment in Marvel, and they do a great job with it. Harrow is a great villain. Not the villain I expected him to be when I watched the show.
Right, yeah.
But I feel like it really played out. Honestly, like this just felt like such a complete experience. Like if I would actually, as much as I would like a season 2, if it didn't get one, I could be like at peace with that and just watch Moon Knight over and over and over again.
Oh, dude, Original Joni rating us right now. What's up, dude? What's happening? Thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate you. We are a podcast. We won't be able to give you guys like an intro video or anything like that, but we're currently talking reviews of Moon Knight, the Disney show. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. And
spoiler free.
It is spoiler free. Yeah, you guys don't need to jet out or anything if you haven't finished watching or whatever. We're just trying to sell you peeps on it. So hang out with us. Come and hang out with us. It's gonna be a good time. Griff, hasn't it been confirmed for season 2? I don't know.
No, it has not been.
Yeah, I don't believe it has.
There have been several articles from both the director and Oscar basically saying that they're not opposed to doing a season 2, but right now it's really going to depend on the story. But they actually wrote Moon Knight with in mind that like this kind of is the story, and this is just how the series is going to be. Now, there's absolutely no way they would create a character in the MCU and not have him interact with other characters. Just because we're not going to get another Moon Knight series doesn't mean that we're never going to see Moon Knight again. Mostly because like I don't know how familiar with you guys are with Moon Knight in the comics, but there is literally Moon Knight beats the Avengers, literally beats their asses, every single one of those motherfuckers. And like, there's a quote, like beats them. He's just like, if I can beat the Avengers, I don't know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Like, right. And he does the damn thing. Like he is such an unpredictable, like Deadpool level hero where like just the way his suit functions and like, look, he is such a reckless character. In the comic books, Taskmaster literally states Taskmaster has the ability to like photogenically copy anybody's fighting style.
Right.
And he straight up says, I don't like to copy Mark Spector / Moon Knight's fighting style because he will take punches just to give a punch. That's the kind of hero he is.
Yeah.
He will let you hit him just so he can hit you harder.
Yep. That's a dope ass hero. Saint says, can he beat Scarlet Witch? We can get into that discourse. We can. The answer, honestly, is no.
No.
No, not at least not canon MCU Scarlet Witch, because that is a whole other level of character that we're still dinking around with. And technically in this canon so far that we have now that Mark Spector Moon Knight is in the MCU, he's not quite at his full capabilities yet. And
He hasn't been
see
Moon
that in the
Knight
show.
for very long.
Right, correct. And so like he's not quite at the abilities that he has to the point where he's able to defeat the Avengers solo, like by himself. But who knows? One day we could see him go off and get a little funky crazy. But any final thoughts, Garrick, on that?
Those are not pretty much it for my top level thoughts. I just really thought this was just a really complete Marvel experience. Being only 6 episodes, they worked well with what they had. Like it's very, very concise.
Yeah, definitely agree. I feel like this series did a very, very good job of giving us a origin but not origin story, in a way that's like he already technically had his powers, but like this is an origin story and is a very, very good introduction to a brand new character that we haven't seen before. I think that Oscar Isaac was incredible in this series. Like, goddamn, does he act? like that dude can act like fucking nobody's business, man. It is wild out here for Oscar Isaac.
He didn't even have to method act and be an asshole to do it either.
Yeah, I know, Jared Leto, go fuck yourself. Dude, Oscar Isaac fucking slayed this entire show, man. Like, I am so thoroughly surprised every time I see him in any piece of content, and he blows it out of the goddamn water. But this show specifically, like, he does such a good job of representing DID in a way that is important for people to understand and like learn about his character, but also learn about DID. Like we talked about earlier, that detail of him creating this like fake bullshit English accent purposefully to get a point across that like he never actually knew what a proper English accent is supposed to sound like, and that was supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Even when we start seeing some other things that, I don't want to spoil because it's not spoiler free content right now, but he does some other things that are super like, holy shit, like he really has so much versatility to him that is just out of this world. Griff says Oscar Isaac fully carried that show hands down. I feel like this almost redeems what Disney did to him during Star Wars. Yeah, although I don't know if it quite redeems it yet. Like we need more.
We're not quite there, but
we need more.
But it's a step in the right direction for sure.
Now, I don't want to take the spotlight away from some of the other actors that we had on the show, because Ethan Hawke was fucking incredible too. I mean, Ethan Hawke is incredible in fucking everything that he does as well. And having these two characters be the focus point of the show between Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight and Ethan Hawke's Harrow, and like having those two sort of like clash together, especially because Harrow in the comics, and correct me if I'm wrong here, isn't a big villain. Like he's only kind of in one run of Moon Knight, and that's it. We get more Midnight Man in the Moon Knight comics than we ever do any of Harrow, and we see Midnight Man in this show, and they kind of play around with that. But unfortunately, that actor is the one that passed away 2 months prior to the show actually being aired. So unfortunately, if they did want to bring back Midnight Man, they would have to recast him. But which, rest in peace to you, sir. But Ethan Hawke was just incredible, giving us this character that really had never really been touched that deeply before, and having us be invested into him being a villain. And he was just pure, he was a fun villain to have. Griff says Harrow is kind of a C tier villain in the comics. Yeah, for sure. And he represents it in such a way that makes it feel like there's stakes. And I know I talk about this a lot when talking in our review content, is like, we have to have stakes in Marvel content because we're dealing with superheroes. If there's no stakes, then there's no point in them existing, right? And like, it's important that we have that, especially in origin stories, where we see that like Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow, like coming in and just like having us actually fear for Moon Knight and Mark Spector's life and be worried about what could potentially be happening there was such a good move. And then Griff also points out May Kalamawi, I believe is how you pronounce her name, as Layla. She was phenomenal. She was fucking phenomenal. And then there was some stuff that got revealed in the show that, again, don't want to ruin it for anybody, even more fucking phenomenal. Like, she fucking killed it. She's also an Egyptian actress, and come to find out, a lot of the actors and people that they had working on this show were Egyptian. And so it actually worked in even further representing their culture and like what they're about and their history and their mythos even more than like what they would have originally if they just had some fucking anybody directing this goddamn movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's incredible to see like how they handled the show. And to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, Garrick, this series was 6 episodes, and all 6 episodes sort of jammed into one just felt like a movie experience. Like this felt like
It
a
really did.
Shang-Chi level origin story that we got across 6 episodes. And that was the entire point of why Disney started doing these Disney Plus shows in the first place with Marvel. This is they wanted to expand how much they had available to tell the stories that they wanted to tell for the characters that we had
Mhm.
available to us. And they
Exactly.
fucking nailed it this time, dude. Absolutely fucking nailed it this
Absolutely,
time.
absolutely. I think one of the like the best things about this, like the Disney Plus like shifted to this sort of content, giving like you guys the people at home 6 episodes for an origin story. That's 6 hours, 6 hours roughly,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Of origin story, which is way more time to let the character breathe than a 2 hour and 30 minute runtime of an origin story, which almost always misses stuff. Like it's like every MCU like origin Shang-Chi is hands down the best MCU origin story. Like no
God damn, it's
contest.
so good. God
That
damn, it's
is
so
the
good, dude.
best one. But like there was definitely a time early in the MCU's life where we were getting like where Thor and Iron Man's origin stories were a little rough.
They were a
Like
little
not
rough,
the
yes.
most exciting pieces of content. Like and so now that we've got the opportunity to to get like a 6 episode stretch of an origin where like we really have the opportunity to let the character breathe and grow. Like even just with Falcon and Winter Soldier, the character development there was amazing. Like it was so needed to have the space that wasn't the silver screen to let these characters grow inside their cinematic universe, to be able to put them back on the silver screen to be the best version of the character they can be on like in the movie setting. Like it's like it's a smart move and it worked so well for them.
Yeah, dude, they really made some moves here, and I think they made a lot of decisions that benefited Moon Knight as a character, and they benefited Moon Knight's story as an introduction to us, kind of coming into a character that not a lot of people really knew a lot about. You know what I mean? And so we're us getting new characters introduced into this universe that they've already sort of established rules in. It's super important for us to get good stories coming from new characters, because we don't know like how they are going to fit into the rules that have been pre-established in the MCU now. So there's a lot that's happening that like is going to be hard for us to trust them unless they give us that story that it so very much deserves to have. I want to point out, Saint says, I'm a movieverse person. I know very little about the comics, but Moon Knight might get me into the comics. Not sure yet. I think I fit in a boat that's sort of in between those two, because I loved Moon Knight enough that it actually did make me interested in the comics. And like Moon Knight was one of the Avengers characters that like never really like grasped me, like back in the day when I was like into comic books. I never was like truly fascinated in Moon Knight. And now that
Mhm.
I've seen the show, I'm like, I kind of want to fucking dig into his stuff. Like,
Right, and like, and which is weird, right? Because like when you see like Moon Knight's character, like on the older comics, especially, like he looks like a Batman clone. Like essentially,
right.
that's like the look that he gives in the comics. And like now that people have really gotten the opportunity to like see his character on the screen and see like what his character really represents and like what his character's really about, he is definitely more akin to Deadpool than he is anywhere near Batman. Like
Very much
like is
so.
that putting him in like in that sort of like detective realm, like he is a merc with a mouth in a sense, not Deadpool, but he's like in that same vein. And like he's really it was so nice to see um them work with like new like the boundaries of the MCU, right, but also expand on it without the need for like cameos. Like, and they
Yes,
did it in like really
exactly.
subtle ways, with like in really subtle ways where like they built on the MCU's. Like as an example, spoiler free, there is a portion of the where you see the afterlife, and they literally make the comment. They're like, "This is what the afterlife looks like," and then a character's like, "Well, an afterlife,"
Yeah,
and like
one of
that
the
one line,
afterlives, right?
super important.
Yeah,
Like that's
exactly,
like that,
exactly.
and then like, and you'll understand like how important that is after you watch Multiverse of Madness, and like we actually get to see some like spirits from like a death realm that are
Right.
different than the ones we see in Moon Knight, and we're in like it's gonna evolve around like some different characters.
Oh, oh, Garrick's tweaking out for a second. Oh
Stuff.
no,
And but they didn't. They had camos planned for this originally. Camos. No,
camos,
we
camo,
good? Am I
camo
back?
cars. Kind of, yeah.
Camos.
For now, camos, yeah.
Am I back? Okay. We didn't like. They were originally planning on doing some cameos in this show. I believe the biggest one was actually set up to be Werewolf by Midnight.
Yeah,
And they cut it.
Right.
And so not to say that we won't see Werewolf by Midnight, but this wasn't the space for that. And with that being said, I wanted to ask you, there's 6 episodes of
Mhm.
Moon Knight.
Mhm.
And one thing that really kind of set apart is they had like a record-breaking runtime for the MCU with their finale. But not the longest finale, the shortest,
Yeah, right.
being only 42 minutes. And I wanted to like with I wanted to get your opinion on the finale of the show and how you feel like they did with the runtime.
I feel like the couple episodes leading to the finale were so good in their storytelling abilities that they were able to go into the finale of the episode and just give us just this ultimate climax of everything sort of like coming together. And ultimately, when I say that, I'm more so saying that as like a cheeky way of saying like the entire final episode is like action, 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 and it's like across the board, right? Like they took off at the end of episode 5, so they went into episode 6. There was no time to have to lose. Like they were in it, and it was, and like once the car started going, like that ball was all going all the way down the fucking hill, and it was perfect way to set that up, especially considering that like episode 5 was so good, so fucking
good
that it was like impossible, like nearly impossible for them to have fucked that up going into episode 6, right? Because episode 5 does such a good job of setting up like, okay, this is what's been going on, this is what you need to get ready for, this is what we're actually looking at right now currently. Now let's get through this, let's move on into episode 6 now that you know where everything is supposed to be at, right? And that level of storytelling is what we were hoping that we would get throughout the course of all these other Marvel Disney Plus shows, where like usually we've seen like episode 4 has been the most, on average, has been the one that pops off in like most of these other shows, and then like the final 2 episodes are like, yeah, sure, okay. Like in this, it was like episode 4 was like kind of there. It was kind of there, and we saw this peak happen. And so it was like by the time the show was ready to finish, they were already at the top of the fucking hill. And so it was like, like what
they
are we
did
gonna
a great job building it over episodes. Like they really did, and that's what like set it apart. Like, episode 5, Asylum, this is like the funniest thing to say about this show. Like this show's like discounting the in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
This is a pretty violent show.
Yes.
And like they kind of show it in like a really interesting way. Like they that's how they kind of use the DID to kind of like mask some of like the bloodier parts to like make it like Marvel friendly,
Right.
which is actually really clever and brilliant. But episode 5, Asylum, is like probably the least action packed episode.
Yeah.
But it is hands down the best one.
Yeah, because
is
the exposition that they chose to have in the show,
So
all of it was moving, it was heartfelt, it was smart, it was clever. Like everything that they packed into episode 5 was just like on its own could have been like the entire like second act of a Marvel movie. And so it was like, because we had this
yeah.
1 hour of really just like really discovering what this character of Mark Spector and Steven, technically, what these two characters have with each other, and like discovering like what this character is about and why they are the way they are and why they are where they are and what that leads into this grand finale that was the final episode. Was incredible. Like episode 5 was so good, you can't fuck that up going afterwards. Right? It's like if Game of Thrones ended on the fucking like Red Wedding, like in one episode after the Red Wedding. Like you can't like,
you're like, that's all, I don't need to watch anymore. Like, this is good.
Yeah.
And like honestly, I think one of the things that was like, I don't know about you, but when we watched like the 5th episode and I was sitting there, I was actually kind of curious. I was just like, there's no fucking way they can wrap this. There's no way they can't wrap this in one more episode. And then we watched the episode. I was literally just like, the son of bitches did it. Like
they fucking did it, dude. They
they did it.
I can't believe they pulled off the landing.
Especially because like there were the motherfuckers that needed to be rescued. There were people that were like nowhere. They were all pretty far. They were people in other realms at the time, like when things were like happening. And then like it all got like literally like they got everybody in the same room to 15 minutes, and then it was just 30 minutes of ass whooping. And like I was just like, okay, all right, okay, I see you, Moon Knight, dude. I see you.
Yeah, and like they
dude, thrilled.
So to answer your question, I thought the final episode was fucking grand, and I thought that was a very, very, very good way to take things off and set us up for what the potential future of Moon Knight could be and how it intersects into the MCU that we know and love. Before we jump out of here, though, I want to make sure that in connection to that, one big thing that I feel carried this show very, very well across the board, especially going into the finale of the show, was F. Murray Abraham doing the voice of Khonshu. Because, like, he did, like, such an incredible job voicing a god in this show in a way that, like...
He felt godly.
He felt godly, right? And, like, he sounded godly. He felt godly. His relationship with Mark Spector was godly. His relationship with everybody around him was godly. And seeing, like, we've seen gods in the MCU before, right? We know Thor. We know his father Odin. We know Loki.
Dude.
Like...
This felt different, though, right?
It felt different.
It felt different. You're just like, damn, you got a lot of fucking attitude for an outcast.
Yeah, and it's like coming into them now presenting to us that, like, hey, there's not just the Norse gods and like the Eternals, and we are now being introduced to like different forms of gods and different like gods in a way that is completely based on the cultural hierarchies and mythos that we've seen. And what you said earlier was so important, of like how we're getting this representation of gods now that is discovering that, like, they're not all just humanoids, and they're not all just this sort of like carbon copy of what we think gods are across all these. Because for a while we could make the assumption that, like, okay, like now looking at Thor Love and Thunder's trailer, for example, right? We know that Thor is going to be talking to Zeus. And Zeus is a humanoid god, right? So now we're talking Greek gods and like what that could potentially mean. But seeing that in contrast with the Egyptian gods that we get in Moon Knight, what else is there possible that they could give us as far as gods and like the spiritual realm is concerned, especially like you said earlier, walking out of Multiverse of Madness and like what that means for us in the future of the MCU, what we could be introduced going forward from there. I think getting Moon Knight and Multiverse of Madness sort of end simultaneously was one of the best decisions they could have possibly made, because I think both of those things were such good experiences that bounced off each other in a way that, like, we were able to go off of the mysticism of Moon Knight and that solid finale that we got from Moon Knight, walk into Multiverse of Madness and have a general concept of like, none of this shit's gonna make fucking sense, right? No, I'm so ready for this bonkers off the wall bullshit because I just saw it in fucking Moon Knight 3 days ago, dude. Like, I'm ready for it. Like,
right?
And so, like, going into it, like, what is there left? What else can they do, right? And so Saint says it was nice to also see them use gods as gods and not just reference names. Sorry, Thor, buddy. Yeah, it's true. Like, the representation of the gods is so well made in Moon Knight because they weren't afraid to kind of go there. And I feel like their hesitancy to go there has been displayed in some of the other Disney Plus content where like they were almost kind of like there. They were almost wanting to give us what we wanted. They were almost willing to give us a little bit of extra violence, a little bit of extra storytelling from like the individual shows. And in this show, they committed in a direction, and that had to be the best benefit that it had. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of love that went into like the creative direction of this show. You can tell because they made some hard choices that were very like away from like stuff that Marvel has done in the past, like with the cameo heavy stuff, lots of Easter eggs. And like this has Easter eggs, right? But it's like it's way scaled down. This is so much more about like just letting the characters have their own like space in the MCU and like letting you understand like this has implications even if they don't directly interact with other characters, right? Because there was a scene in episode I want to say 3, maybe it was 4, um where you get to see the avatars of like a dozen gods.
Yeah.
Like a dozen, a lot.
Yeah.
And so there's like, but we didn't get to see their godly shapes. But there's definitely room for them to appear in the future.
Right. And it's dude, God, man. It's hard to really like hit any just one single nail because they nail it so well in so many different divisions of the show. And like honestly, that's kind of my last thought on this because like honestly, I think you and I are both on the same page. This show fucking rocked. And like
it ruled.
Now Griff mentions in the chat like that's kind of like the mythos of Norse mythology, though, and that's how Norse gods are. In Norse mytho, the gods are basically humans with superpowers. Yeah, well, I mean, like, yes and no, though, right? Because it's like the same could be said of like the Egyptian gods too, where like not all the Egyptian gods were necessarily like big, gross, like half human, half animal things. Like, granted, like we didn't necessarily see all of the like Egyptian gods and stuff, and like Loki's not certainly not supposed to always be looking the way he does in Marvel. I'll tell you that. But it's cool to see how Moon Knight gives us such a display of like what Disney is trying to do with the Marvel like TV show content and how they're still trying to make it just as cinematic as the movies. And Moon Knight makes me feel so much better at it, like walking away from it, because we've seen Loki, we've seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we've seen fucking what else was there? I feel like I'm forgetting one.
So we've got Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and WandaVision.
WandaVision, yeah. We've walked away from all 3 of those shows, sort of feeling like, okay, like I kind of need to see like where this leads into, right? Like that was a fun story for what it was, but like there wasn't like something super crazy out of it. Like Loki had probably arguably the best finale of the 3, arguably.
I would say so. It's just different because like with those shows, like it's less about the story that they were telling in the present and more about where it's going to place those characters in the MCU, because they're all like pre-existing characters we know and love. But like this was just such a strong stance of a new character, like because this is our first new character, like new iconic character in a like Disney Plus format. And this proves that they can do individual stories that aren't like the Avengers we already know and love in Disney Plus and have it really excel.
Yeah. Very much so, dude. And I'm sure I can speak for both of us when I say we're super fucking excited to see how they plug Mark Spector into the MCU. When it will be, we don't know. How it will be, I have no fucking clue, but I am so ready for it when that time happens. Let's hope that it's in Blade.
Dude, I don't even give a crap. He could show up literally anywhere, and I will be fine.
Oh, I'm gonna pop off, dude. Anywhere. I'm gonna fucking pop off when he pops up in one of the movies, dude. It's gonna be so good.
Look, all I'm saying is, if if Oscar Isaac says we can call him Daddy, I'm going to, because Daddy Oscar Isaac.
Daddy Oscar Isaac, man.
Killed
Daddy
this
Oscar
show.
Isaac.
Daddy Oscar Isaac. Are we rating? Are we rating? This?
Sure. I guess that's fine. What kind of rating would you give? What are you thinking?
Well, obviously, like this is if the series has ended. If you haven't watched it yet, I will recommend that you go do so. Especially because you literally have to have no previous Marvel experience to enjoy this, none whatsoever. If you want just a good starting point to jump into Disney Marvel content, that's the show. This is probably my favorite piece of Marvel Disney Plus content, like at the forefront at the moment, and I'm gonna give this bad boy a solid 9. A solid 9. I really loved it.
Wow.
A solid 9. Really loved this show.
Okay. Now you rated a 9. Do you like, because I feel like you also you rated Multiverse of Madness in 8, if I remember correctly. Do you 8.5. Do you feel like this is better than Multiverse of Madness?
I do.
You do.
I do.
All
feel
right.
like
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, Mike. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, I feel like a part of me wants to say it's better than Multiverse as well. I kind of like them equally. I think I would say that this is an 8.5 as well for me. I think that it does.
I can respect that.
Yeah, I feel like it has some flaws. It has some flaws. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Moon Knight was absolute fucking perfection, because it wasn't. It had a couple of things that it honestly probably could have done a little bit better. But they do so many good things in it that make up for any of the flaws that it has, that it's almost like completely redeemable, right? And it's like almost forgivable. The couple of things that it does do is like, there's some character decisions that I wish they would have focused a little bit more on. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more to Midnight Man. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more to somebody, to Khonshu, for example. There's some stuff that I wish they would have had dived into a little bit more. Whereas, like, I wanted episode 5, but for more characters. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to dive more into it. I want a little bit more. And so that's kind of my only reason, like, my only gripe that I have with it. And, you know, kind of, this is the only thing taking away points for me. But, yeah, I think this is an 8.5 for me as well. But with the way we do things, we average up and round up, with that said. So Moon Knight is officially a GK 9 out of 10. My guys, watch this damn show.
Yeah.
Watch this damn show.
It really is. It's a great show, guys. It's like... even if you know nothing about Marvel, like, you can still really enjoy this. You can enjoy this based off of Oscar Isaac's performance alone.
100%, you fucking can.
100%.
100%.
But
Garrick, what's our schedule for this week, my friend?
Absolutely, our schedule this week. So Wednesday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. West Coast time, we have Vermilion Voyages. That's the show featuring yours truly. And we are going to be playing One Salt and Sacrifice. This is the sequel to Salt and Sanctuary, a indie 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania Souls-like spiritual successor sort of game. And I loved the first one. Like, it's actually like one of my top favorite Souls games. So I'm really looking to dig into the sequel. I actually hear this one's a lot harder. So y'all are gonna watch me get spanked probably tomorrow.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch.
But that's okay, because on Thursday we have the Shipwreck Show live recording for our patrons. Yes. That will also be at 7 p.m. West Coast time. If you want to be a part of that, go on and subscribe over to our Patreon. You can watch the show while we live record there, chat with us, maybe throw in some questions. We do listener questions on the Shipwreck Show. And then this Friday is going to be fun. Friday, we have Splash Damage, and we are playing One Evil Dead, the game. And I think as of right now, if you guys are planning on picking up the Evil Dead game, it is an asymmetrical. We're always if we can get the 5, we'd love to have somebody in there. But right now it's going to be
2 spots available.
We got 2 spots available. 2 spots available. Evil Dead the game. It'll be myself, one Ernell Pearson, aka Ocean Shrine, and the Man of Mystery, Chase of Beard.
Yes,
and then. Saturday, damn, this is a lit week. Saturday, we have another dope episode for you guys where we have another episode of the GK podcast at 12 p.m. and that West Coast, Best Coast time. And that is actually going to be featuring one special guest, Michael Hyman at Fanbyte. Wow, dude, lots of good content this week.
Higham. Let's fucking go, dude. It's gonna be lots of fun this week. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be exciting. I'm already exhausted. I'm already tired. Let's get content creation.
You're like just reading the schedule. We're gonna be real sleepy on Saturday.
Goddamn.
But we got lots of good stuff lined up for you guys. But let us know what you guys thought of Moon Knight. Did our review make it so something you guys are gonna watch? Have you watched it already? Did you think it sucked for whatever reason? We think we're out of our mind. Let us know in the comments below. And fight with us. Don't actually do that, but let us know what you thought. Because, well, this has been the Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. right here at Twitch TV/Good Kraken Show. If you enjoyed the show, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Good Kraken Show, where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive post-show content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the 7 Seas.
Yarg.
If you enjoyed the show, you can head on. I already read that part. You can also support.
I already read that part.
You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with the exclamation point and leaving a review there. But until next time, I have been Vermilion Beard. He has been the Ocean Shrine. And rise up, my Moon Knight, my fist of vengeance. Let's fucking go.